Let's start with departing from the faith, first of all. They shall depart from the faith, meaning they used to be a part of the faith, but now they're departing because they're giving heed to seducing spirits, lying spirits, doctrines of devils. They're speaking lies. What's one of the things that God hates? Lies. He hates it. And who's the father of lies? It ain't God. It's Satan, right? Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience, their mind seared with a hot iron. So what is the doctrine of the Nicolaitanes? I mean, we've shared some things and I've given you a glimpse. I've given you some characteristics by just having this discussion with you. But because Yeshua refers to the doctrine and the deeds of the Nicolaitanes as something that he hates, I think it is of vital importance that we get an understanding, a clear understanding of who exactly they are. I think it would be very important to our spiritual survival that we know who these people are. Okay, to understand their doctrine further, we've shed a little bit of light on who they are, and we've shared some of their characteristics. But a way to understand the doctrine even further is to break down the word that Yeshua used to describe it. Now, the Nicolaitanes, this word means victorious over or conqueror of the people. It comes from a familiar word that we have right here today in society called Nike. This is a familiar word in our society. We see the word Nike. You got Nike shoes, Nike clothing, Nike underwear, whatever, okay? You got all this Nike stuff. What does the word Nike mean? It means to conquer. It means conquer, okay? And this other word is laos. You have Nicolaitanes. So Nico, Nike, meaning to conquer. Laos, referring to laity, which is where the word laity comes from. But it means the people. Okay, the public. So to conquer the people, to conquer the public. A practical example of this, just a really quick example that I'm going to throw out at you, is a story of good old Saint Nick. You know, that liar, Satan, the devil himself, that they love to worship as God. His fame, that's a good example. The concept of buying somebody off is really portrayed there, because you see this guy who says, by your works, I'll give you a gift. But that's totally contrary to how God works. He said, you don't have to do works for me to give you this gift. I'm going to give you this gift. Now, to maintain the gift, you will have to work, but you don't have to do works to get the gift. All you have to do is receive the gift. So we have the concept of buying somebody off or bribing them to get what you want out of them. This is another spirit of the Nicolaitanes, okay? That whole Santa making a list, checking it twice, trying to find out who's naughty and nice. I'm watching you, you know, that whole thing. Salvation is not of works. Like I said, although we do work to maintain, we don't do works to gain the salvation that's been provided for us, okay? So by contrast, the gospel of Christ is a doctrine of salvation by faith or through faith. But see, you have here the doctrine of Saint Nick, Santa Claus, who is salvation by works. If you be good, then you'll get a Christmas gift. See how that works? One depends on what Christ did, and the other depends on what you do, which is nothing more than humanism, which is what's been proliferated from the beginning. It's all about getting you away from God and depending on him to depending on yourself. Another spirit of the Nicolaitanes, okay? The doctrine of dead works is described in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1. It's used, what this doctrine of dead works, if you read Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1, you'll see what the doctrine of dead works is. What it's used to do is control the people. See, just like parents use the doctrine of Santa or the doctrine of mom and dad to try to control their kids instead of just training them up in the way that they should go. You know, you try to bribe them. Well, I'm not going to buy you that cereal. No, you can't have that sucker because you've been bad. That's so stupid. Just train them. They're in your care. You're responsible for their training. So if you don't give them anything, how do you expect something out of them? So you bribe them, or you try to buy them off to get them to do what you want them to do. So like I said, either you've trained them or you are training them, which makes it a heart issue. Because see, when you train somebody, you're putting something in their heart. You're making something a part of them. Or are you just bribing them to get what you want? You know, big difference. See, the doctrine of Christ and how the doctrine of the Nicolaitanes works, totally opposites, okay? So Jesus hates this doctrine because it tramples upon the very premise of the cross. The whole concept of salvation that is not of works is trampled on here, because you want to make somebody do something by bribing them, getting them to do the work so that you can reward them. Okay. The whole purpose behind the doctrine of salvation by works is to get people to the point that they can be conquered. You understand what I'm saying? Conquered and control. That's the whole key. That's the whole spirit of the deeds and the doctrine of the Nicolaitanes. It's about conquering the people and controlling the people. Okay, so Jesus never set up or endorsed the whole clergy laity system. Where did that come from? We are all one body in his sight. There's no hierarchy or lowarchy or big I and little u. Christ alone is the head of the church. So everything else is just false. It's not real. Okay, but how to conquer somebody 101? How do you do that? Satan was the master of it. What did he do? He said, you give them what they want. That's how you conquer somebody. You give them what they want, what you think they want, what you see that they desire. That's what you give them. That's what he did in the garden. That's what he's been doing throughout history. Give them what they want. Okay? So you think that Adam just ate the fruit just because Eve talked him into it? No, he wanted it anyway, because you won't take anything that you don't want. You can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. You follow what I'm saying? I don't do drugs and I don't do alcohol. So a person that would present to me, hey, if you do this, then I'll give you this. Or a person that would present to me, hey, come on over and share this. I don't want that. So I'm not interested. But just to willingly just fall into, oh yeah, I'd like a piece of that fruit as well. Because Adam was standing there the whole time in the garden. He's standing right there while Eve is having a discussion, while she's being beguiled by the devil. He's standing right there. He already knew. God had already told him. He had a conversation with his man and let him know, this is how it is. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Don't touch that tree. Don't eat of that tree. You follow what I'm saying? That's what he told him. Don't eat of that tree. You can have everything else in this garden. You can eat it, but don't eat that. And he's standing right there with the woman. So why would he just take the fruit? Because he's been eyeballing that tree since before the woman was even made. He wanted it. Okay, people that try drugs, they want to try them. People that smoke their first cigarette, they want to try it. The first drink, you wanted to try it. No matter what you used as your reason, it's something that you wanted to do. Nobody could make you do it if you didn't want to do it. You follow what I'm saying? So you give them something that they want. That's Conquer 101. Because in the enemy's mind, everybody has a price, right? Right? No, not true believers. We don't have a price. We're sold out to the cause of God, period. Anything else is just a counterfeit to us. Okay? And that's why there's so much opposition. That's why we're hated so deeply. And people are always trying to come up with reasons why they don't like us, because we're sold out and they're not. They're easily swayed by things. And all a person has to do to control them is give them something that they want. And they're just manipulated and controlled. In times past, you'll notice two different things. Conquest would come from the outside. That's a fact. The enemy will come to you through people outside of you. Always. You know what I'm saying? He'll use people that you don't even know to come against you. But you know what? He got slick and decided he wanted to switch lanes. He wasn't going to just do it one way. He switched it up a little bit. And so how did he do this? As to not seem so obvious when he approaches or when he's doing his thing, he's going to infiltrate from the inside. So now you have this infiltration. You have it from the outside and you have it from the inside. But see, it's more subtle from the inside because you're not expecting that inside you're going to be attacked. You're looking for the attack to come from the outside. Okay? You remember the story or the parable of the wheat and tares? Trust me, not everybody that looks the part is a true follower of God. They're not actually followers. Okay? So don't get fooled by that. The greatest strategy of the enemy is not to totally give you this outward antichrist message. No, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to give you a mixture. It's a mixture. It's a mixture of truth and it's a mixture of error. You see how that works? That's how it's been from the beginning. He's crafted this thing. He's not going to just flat out lie to you, just the lie part. He's going to give you truth and he's going to give you error. Okay? Just enough truth to make it seem plausible to you, to make it palatable, just to make it, oh yeah, okay, that's a truth that I know. So yes, I can accept this. But enough leaven, enough of the lie to contaminate the whole batch.